It has the highest rating as far as ecological value. It has a great variety of habitats. They're all in very good condition. So it really is, out of all of our township parks, it's the best park to have a nature center because there's the most to interpret there. So.
And not the big problem with invasive species that you might have in other areas.
No, I mean, there is some, but we try to keep it under control. So, I mean, there's a little bit.
Okay. As far as extent, well, I'm not sure I understand what that means in the context of evaluation. I can take a stab at it. It looks like what they're proposing to do here is a perfect extension of the existing use of that park and of the land. It doesn't look like they're being overly broad in their reach, so it seems very, very appropriate in my mind. The other commissioners have a different opinion or the same opinion.
I would say the extent of the nature center on this site really promotes seasonal visits more than once a year. And I think that that would be truly an enhancement to see the same geography, the same topography throughout the seasons, you know, through the nature center. I think it's really an enhancement for a community to have that.
So we have a park that is popular among the residents of the township. And so making improvements to that, especially when we have the benefit of grant money to stretch township park dollars. That's park dollars. That's not coming out of township general funds. So stretching those dollars to enhance the existing benefit to the township residents this park already represents by adding these pieces seems to make sense to me. Any other comment, or is there a motion? Oh, we don't make a motion. What do we do?
Yeah.
Make a motion to.
Oh, yeah, we do make some kind of motion, but not a recommendation.
That's correct.
Would anybody care to make a motion, or there's other discussion? This thing on? Hello?
No. I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you. What kind of motion would you like to make?
I would like to make a motion for the approved changes to Lost Lake Nature Park as stated.
In the proposal presented this evening?
Correct.
Okay, is there support for that motion?
Support.
Any discussion?
I think the only other point I was going to make is if anybody wanted to make any comment to the park, the comments about this from the public or any other citizens, you would make it to the Park Commission, correct? In other words, that's an appropriate venue for the public. If they had comments on this, is back directly to the Park Commission to attend a Park Commission meeting and direct comments there. Right? Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
When do these? Okay. Next on the agenda is the Blossom Ridge rezoning request. I will note that since the last time we met, we have another modification of the site plan from the applicant, which I will ask the applicant to describe in a moment. We received a number of items of input. I'll ask Mr. Cerna, don't jump up there yet, I just want to ask you a simple question. The letter that we have before us tonight, is it the same as the one that you mailed to our
I delivered it Monday, Tuesday, when you first opened your packet.
What did it say?
It's the same, exactly the same, word for word. Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, is that the December 28th letter?
That's what I have it as, December 28th.
Okay, it just so happens that the copy that I have that was sitting here today for me is missing page 1. It has the cover with all the CCs, but when I turn the page, I find page 2. And I hope yours is more complete than mine.
Is it a 4-page document where it's just turned over and stapled out wrong, or?
Well, I go from the cover sheet to page 2, 3, and 4, and that's it.
Nothing on the back of your first page?
Well, there is something on the back of my first page, but it starts with residence, period, as proposed, the overall density. No, this one has all of it. Never mind. Thank you.
On quick glance, the one that was on my chair this evening looked to be the same as what I had already reviewed that came by mail. And Mr. Cerna says that it is.
Got it.
Okay, just by way of reference and incorporated in, I know that's not satisfactory to Mr. Langlois, but I'll proceed with that anyway to be consistent. We did receive a number of emails, some in support and some opposed to the application. They are in our packets in printed form. I make reference to them here. We have some that came since our packets came out, excuse me, and I'll also incorporate them by reference here. I don't know if you've all had a chance to read through those. What else did I want to add in here? I think that was it. I thought this, I don't know if it was caught earlier, Mr. Creech, but Mr. Cerna during the public comment was referring in general to the what he perceived as contradictions in Mr. Nix's communications. That document that is not signed, but I have addressed it as Mr. Cerna, or Associate Mr. Cerna, for the minutes. So you've got that, begins with the esteemed members of the Planning Commission. Okay, excellent. Did I miss anything? Okay, the applicant has provided a revision, seems minor revision, but I'll let that characterization be determined, to the site plan, taking into account questions from the Planning Commission during our discussion last month, as well as comment from the public throughout the project here. I would, unless there are questions from the commissioners beforehand, I would like to suggest we take this approach. Have the applicant take the podium and go through the changes quickly, but as completely as you feel necessary for our consideration here. Have Mr. Nix chime in as he's provided us with another report pertaining to these changes, and then open up for discussion here by the commissioners. Any changes to that before we proceed with the commissioners? Mr. Mosheri, would you like, or Mr. Westfall, who's? Don? Heather.
Good evening, I'm Donald Westfall, representing the developer and the landscape architect for this project. During the course of this process, we have responded in a number of ways to concerns that were raised both by the public and by the Planning Commission. And at the time of our last presentation indicated to you that we had one final change that we wanted to make, and we got that into the Planning Commission in adequate time for that to be in their packets and to be reviewed by Mr. Nix. And I'll just quickly go over those items. The main change that we made in the plan is in the area of the main entrance. As you'll remember, we had a roundabout here and a road that went up here and had duet units that were backed up against the Adams Road. And in order to enhance and preserve more of the view shed, we've made a change in the plan to move those units back away so that those residents would not be backing up to Adams Road and would be clear a good deal more of the view shed there. It resulted in a small reduction in the number, a couple of units, and I'd like to then show what the changes to the entrance are. The reason for our changes, we were a little bit concerned about the roundabout at the entrance. It might be somewhat confusing, particularly to the seniors. And we changed that intersection to a T intersection, which would be easier to navigate. The roundabout made it a little bit difficult for pedestrian crossings, as we've experienced some in the news lately, accidents that have happened in roundabouts because of pedestrian conflicts, and we think that's better. And there's a greater preservation of land features because the road system at the entrance is occupying a little bit less space. And just for your this review, this was the previous entrance. You can see we had a roundabout here and a road that went up, and these units backed up against Adams Road. This is a revised plan, a simple T intersection, maintaining the boulevard. And the boulevard ends up being a little bit longer, allowing some more space for stacking and so forth. And then the road has been removed that was paralleling Adams Road there. So we think this is a significant improvement to the plan. And when we discussed preservation of some additional resources, because the roundabout was here, we have a little bit more space here and a little bit more clear space. This is an area that has some topography that will create some challenges, and the simplification of the entrance here will be to the advantage of the safety of the residents.
Excuse me, Don.
Yes, sir.
How long is that median there in the boulevard? Approximately.
I'm going to ask Jennifer. I'll continue on with one small thing, and then
okay, we can go on, but I am curious about that. If you
the last issue, there was some concern by the residents and others about the east elevation of the main building on the site. And we thought we would include a rendering of the east elevation of the building as it would be seen looking directly west from Adams Road. You'll remember that we have a substantial berm in front which would cover up from Adams Road all but the top portion of the building. And we've indicated, we've already worked on the landscape plans for this project, so the landscaping that you see in front of the building is that landscaping that would be between the parking lot and the building. And we thought that we'd offer that to you. Notice that this is the east end of the building, which is 2 stories. The roof line has additional architectural enhancements to make the building more attractive. Jennifer, do we have a?
Roughly 175 feet.
Thank you.
So the median's roughly 175 feet.
Now, staying on this picture, did you say that the only portion of this building you anticipate would be visible from Adams would be the portion above the second floor windows, the roof line basically?
Yes, in your packets and in previous presentation, we showed cross-sectional views indicating the building and the berms and so forth, and without the trees on top of the berm, only the top portion of the building above the ridge line